All right, hello folks. We're going to make, I'm going to show you how to make suppositories, cannabis suppositories. First thing you're going to need is a few things. You're going to have to order up some of these. These are suppository molds. You can get them also on eBay. They hold 2.4 milliliters of liquid. And that's important to note because we've got to do a little bit of math to fill them. So it'll be on the box or whatever size you want to buy. But I would suggest 2.4 seems to be a good size for us. Next thing you need is something to hold them in or stand them up. I use this here. All this is a box that I found that held recipe cards. And you could fill it with sand or anything that's kind of loose so that it can stand up. So you need a pair of scissors, and what we're going to do is cut 3 packs of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're just going to take them and stick them in here. So that's 21. It's important to note I'm going to make 21 tonight. Now the next thing what I like to do is I'd like to take a small container and just take, this is what I mix the cannabis oil in, is coconut oil. It's organic virgin coconut oil. It stays hard at room temperature. What I do is I put some in a little container and I heat it in the microwave for about 30 seconds. Do not heat the cannabis oil. You'll lose some of the potency. It looks a little green only because, and it's not white, because I use this oil to clean out my syringes with the excess oil that's inside them, and I keep it in there. Instead of throwing it away, why throw it away? It's expensive, and I use that over and over to fill up my suppository mold. And what else you're going to need is a small scale that goes to 2 decimal places so you can weigh your oil and everything. So they're fairly cheap. You're going to need a calculator or a piece of paper, whatever you feel comfortable with. A large measuring container for doing the mixing in. I use a glass one. The next thing you want to do is you want to get a larger glass, so that you can boil some water, so you can put your syringes in there and let them sit there for a few minutes. And the reason why we do that is because the oil is very thick inside these and very hard to push out. If you heat them up, warm them up, it's not harming the oil at all. If you just warm them up, they come out very easily. So let's do some math. What we're going to do is we have 21 suppositories. Right now measure 38 grams or milliliters, grams same as milliliters, of the coconut oil, the warmed coconut oil. So there's 38 milliliters of coconut oil. Now we want 15.75 grams of the cannabis oil. So I'm going to empty my first one, see what I've got. So that's 1.8. And the remainder in here I'll just clean out in another oil and use it for next time. And then I'm going to try this one. And that's at 7.5. So now I've got my coconut oil and my cannabis oil in there. I added some extra boiling water in there because it's getting a little cool. But as you can see, it's mixed quite well, because I don't want to waste the oil that's in these. So I'm just going to suck up some warm oil and spit it back in. And I'm just going to do that, and that ends up rinsing out the syringes so that all that good oil doesn't get wasted. There's the 3 done. So let's start. And these are fairly opaque. You can see a little bit through them. Always try to have a little light behind you so that as you can see it filling, you only want to fill it to the top of that spot right there. You can see that little indentation about a ½ inch from the top right there. So you want to fill it just to there. Okay, so let's go and get the first ones. And I just suck up whatever I can handle in the syringe and let it drip in there and start the first one. You can see the shadow coming up the side, so it's not so bad. There are some clear ones out there. They'd be kind of handy to have, but it's the only ones I can get. And that's 21 of them. Now I take this and I place it in the freezer. In about an hour, they'll be rock solid. And then I take them off individually, put them in a little Ziploc bag, leave them on the door, and then we're good to go.
Now once you trim your suppositories, they are ready to be taken out of the mold. Notice that I've actually taken out my gloves because the experiment has finished. So what you need to do is you cut them individually, and then you pull the end, taking out the suppository like that. So this is a completed suppositories. Try not to handle it too much because your body heat will start to melt the suppository. Alright, so just keep going.